Hey guys, I'm Meg Green, your CAVHS Health and Wellness Dietitian, and today we're going to go over how to grow your own herbs. Herbs are a very easy plant to grow. You can grow them indoors and outdoors, and I'll give you a few tips on how to actually plant them. But first we'll go over a few popular ones. If you don't know which herbs to grow, first think about which ones do you eat. And I have a few popular ones here that people use frequently available for you guys to see. Some of them are fresh and some of them you can see have already been dried. First one here is mint. Mint is very popular, of course, to put in our tea. It is, this is fresh. Obviously, I just picked this from my plant this morning, but it also is used for dips and as a garnish for desserts. It's really good if you mix a little bit of mint with some cucumber and Greek yogurt to make a tzatziki dip. It's really, really yummy. Another is thyme. This is a fresh thyme. This goes really well with poultry, so any kind of meat. And then, of course, soups and stews, and it's really called in a lot of different dishes. So this is one that's very popular, and it's very easy to grow. Sage is next, and here we have an example of dried sage. So you've already grown the plant, and once the leaves become, you take the leaves and let them dry, and then you can kind of grind them up and store those. And here's dried sage. This is very popular in Thanksgiving because a lot of people will use sage in their dressing. So it goes really well with meats and poultry as well. And then oregano. Here is a dried oregano that's down here. It kind of is in the mint family. Both of these are good to grow in separate plants by themselves because once they start growing, they really like to expand and take over. So if you do grow mint or oregano, have them in their own little separate pot. Oregano is popular in Italian dishes and then also in like Greek dishes and Middle Europe dishes. You can find oregano in Italian seasoning. And so if you have your own herb garden, you don't have to worry about buying your own spices or seasonings because you can make your own blends. Rosemary is another popular one here, and here's fresh rosemary. And it is really, really yummy with lamb and other meats, especially in poultry. And anytime I'm making my own broth, so if I'm making vegetable broth or chicken broth, I always will add rosemary in there to help flavor that. And then another popular one here is parsley. This is fresh parsley, fresh from my garden this morning. I use this in almost all of my dishes that I make, whether it's flavoring rice or pasta, if I'm flavoring soups, or especially with different meats, poultry items, things like that, I always will put parsley. And so this is one that I use frequently. Another popular one is chive. And so that's kind of like the little green shoots. And it has an oniony flavor. It is very popular. You can sprinkle on top of all dishes, salads. Use it in dressings if you're making your own salad dressing, which is yummy. And it's really good if you put it in kind of like tuna salad or egg salad or even potato salad. And so I like to put it in just plain rice to give it a little bit of flavor. So now we're going to actually plant, and I have here basil. This is one of my favorite ones, and I use this all of the time. It can go well in salads. It also makes a fabulous pesto, and you need a lot of different basil leaves to be able to make pesto. So we go through a lot of basil at our house. It's really good with pastas, and it goes in your Italian seasoning blend as well. Whenever you're planting your herbs, you want to make sure that you have a pot filled with potting soil and that the pot actually drains. If for some reason you don't have a pot that drains, you can put some rocks at the bottom of that to help so the water doesn't just sit. And if that happens, you'll notice some mold and your plants won't be able to grow. They'll color differently, maybe yellow. Sometimes it'll not grow well at all. And so you'll take your little starter plant out, just kind of shake it because you can see the roots here. And you don't want to disturb the roots. I've already dug a hole, so you want to dig a hole and then kind of put it down. And then you'll just fill the dirt on top of it. And that way it can adjust to its new home. Now it takes a few days. If you notice that your plant's not looking well, anytime you move a home, you have to adjust. And feel free to water it, of course. Basil is one that you can grow indoors or outdoors. And so if you grow a plant indoors, you're going to make sure and keep it by a windowsill so it gets some sunlight. And then I also have a few little seeds that I'm going to take and just kind of dig a little hole with my finger and put a couple of seeds in each one of these little holes, just so I can have a different range of basil growing. Because once it starts to grow and get really tall, I like to have another one coming up underneath it that's called like staggering. So now we have our garden growing, and the benefits of this is that you're not going out and spending a whole lot of money on spices. Even dried spices can cost a lot of money, and you have fresh ones growing here. So to use fresh, if you're going to pick fresh, you want to pick your leaves, and you don't want to take over a third of the plant. You want to make sure that you have enough growing, and so you can take those leaves, wrap them in a little bit of a damp paper towel and put that in a little storage container in the refrigerator, and that will last up to a week. Or you can take the leaves and let them dry out, and after they've dried out, you can kind of grind them up and then store that in an airtight container, and that will be good for up to a year. And so I know a spice container can range anywhere from $1.50 to sometimes $5. So you're really saving a lot of money. And it's low sodium, and it doesn't have any of those additives that sometimes those spices and seasoning blends have. So it really is a smart, healthy way to taste and eat your food. Another fun thing about this is that you're getting your hands dirty and playing in the dirt. It's very therapeutic and a good stress reliever. And who doesn't need a better stress reliever right now during this time, and another cost-efficient way of saving money during all of this. And what's neat is that you can make your own blends. Like I said, the oregano, rosemary, basil, parsley, let those all dry together and grind them up, and you have your own Italian blend. Take the seasonings that you've grown to like and mix them together, and you can have your own spice. Hope you guys enjoy. All right, to make the taco cups, what we're going to do is we have 3 flour tortillas that we're going to trim into a square. So you're going to take the edges off. And then once you have a square, you're going to cut the square into 4 smaller squares. As you can see, it doesn't have to be perfectly even, but now we have our little shells. And we're going to add a little bit to each cup. I'm going to finish this one right here. And now you're going to take about a tablespoon, the same amount of scrambled egg, and put that into the cup as well. And then you'll top with a diced red bell pepper. So you can put a couple of each little cubes on each muffin. Once these are all topped, we're going to put them in the oven until they're ooey gooey, and it usually takes about 10 minutes. Make sure to preheat your oven at 375. Hey guys, it's Meg Green, your CAVHS Health and Wellness Dietitian, and we have a couple recipes for you today, both using broccoli, which is a superfood. It has lots of vitamin K, vitamin C, potassium, folate, and of course fiber. So our first recipe is going to be broccoli, chicken and rice casserole, and I know you'll enjoy. Our second recipe today using broccoli, we're gonna make a broccoli and cheddar soup, which is easy to freeze and store and very yummy. I know you'll enjoy.